What's up, everyone? It's your boy Heavy talking about cryptocurrencies and the things you need to know today. Ethereum is the second most valuable cryptocurrency by market cap and will be undergoing a monumental change later this year known as Ethereum 2.0. This is an important video if you have money in Ethereum and want to know what's going on, or if you're just interested in learning more about the blockchain. Today, I will go over the details of the upgrade and what it means for the currency as well as crypto as a whole. We will be discussing proof of work transitioning to proof of stake, sharding, Ethereum Webassembly, and Ice Age, and what implications this has for the price and future of Ethereum. We have a lot to cover, so let's get right into it. Ethereum was launched in 2015 by Vitalik Buterin when he was just 18. He designed the network to combat the shortcomings of other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. These shortcomings include things like transaction speed and smart contracts. Since then, Ethereum has grown into the second largest cryptocurrency with a market cap of over $200 billion. However, the network has limitations to it that prevent it from being used on an extremely large scale, preventing mass adoption. Upgrades that will enable the system to massively scale have been in the work since 2015 and are scheduled to take effect later this year in mid-2021. The upgrades have been dubbed Ethereum 2.0 and are some of the biggest updates to any cryptocurrency network ever. Each upgrade seeks to solve a problem in the system. First, we will discuss how they will decrease the amount of energy required to run the network, as the Ethereum network draws more electricity than the entire country of Iceland. Arguably, one of the biggest developments in Ethereum 2.0 is the transition from proof of work to proof of stake. The current Ethereum network, like Bitcoin, utilizes a proof of work mechanism to reward miners for their work. To better understand what I just said, let's go over a quick explanation of crypto mining. Crypto mining refers to the process of verifying all the transactions in a particular block and then guessing a random number known as the nonce. Nonce stands for number used only once, and it is determined by the network. The first computer to correctly guess a number that is less than or equal to the nonce is given the reward. At this time, the Bitcoin reward is 6.25 Bitcoins, and Ethereum rewards 4.1 Ether. Correctly guessing the nonce requires a tremendous amount of work, so the guess acts as the proof of work. But why can't the reward be given to the first miner that verifies all the transactions, though? I mean, why do they have to expend so much energy figuring out this number? Well, putting a barrier in place makes the blockchain secure from fraud. The barrier is designed to weed out bad actors by making the process more difficult and expensive. However, the Ethereum network is ditching proof of work in favor of proof of stake. Proof of stake does the same thing in that it rewards miners for verifying transactions, although there is no guessing of a nonce. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this works. Miners using the Ethereum 2.0 network will now be considered validators since they are no longer mining. Rather, they are only performing the validation part. The first step in becoming a validator is to stake a minimum of 32 Ether. Right now, 32 Ether is worth roughly $60,000. So they're basically saying, hey, if you want to be a validator, you got to throw $60,000 cash out and tie it up. You can't get it back right now in order to show that you're a trustworthy person and that you can be a validator on the network. Right now, there is over $5 billion worth of Ether staked in anticipation of the Ethereum 2.0 launch. Once you have staked, you will become a validator, meaning your duty is to create and confirm blocks. The more coins you have staked, the more blocks you will be assigned to validate, and thus the more money you will make. This increases proportionally, so if you have twice as many coins as the next person, you will get twice as many blocks and thus twice as many rewards. This system of rewards has the major benefit of decreasing energy consumption. According to spectrum.org, proof of stake will use about 1% as much energy as proof of work. Additionally, there is the added benefit of lowering the hardware barrier to entry, since nodes no longer have to compete against each other to find that nonce. This makes it a little easier for people like you and me to get into the Ethereum validating arena. Another peculiar aspect to this new system is that validators can be fined for validating fraudulent blocks or going offline. Basically, there's like a police force on the network that says, if you do anything you shouldn't do, we're going to hit you with a ticket, and you have to pay that fine using your staked Ethereum. Proof of stake does have some drawbacks though. One problem identified is that by incentivizing validators to stake more coins, too many coins will be taken out of circulation, decreasing liquidity. If this were to happen, Ethereum's use as a store of value and medium of exchange could be compromised, as all the coins would be basically locked up. It'd be like if you took all the US dollars and just locked them away in a bank account and they weren't circulating at all, then what good would the US dollar be? Additionally, the accumulation of coins at the top could lead majority stakeholders to dictate the direction of the network. As I said, the more coins you have, the more rewards you get. So it creates kind of like this exponential curve where the people at the top will be making tons and tons of money while the people down below won't be making nearly as much. This contrasts a proof of work system because using proof of work, it doesn't matter how many coins you have. Technically, everyone has an equal chance of getting the reward. Although that doesn't entirely stand up, because in proof of work, you can have these big money players that have an entire warehouse full of miners, and they are much more likely to get the reward than somebody that's running a single GPU out of their basement, who it's pretty much impossible for them to get the reward. So proof of stake will speed up the network and lower energy consumption. But is it enough to give Ethereum scale? Not quite. We will need more upgrades to really move the needle. So next, we're going to cover sharding. Currently, every node on the Ethereum network sequentially processes every transaction on every block of the chain. This process is slow and makes inefficient use of computational resources. Developers working on Ethereum 2.0 seek to change that by introducing sharding. Instead of every node on the network verifying the entirety of every block, sharding breaks the process into shards, so nodes only have to verify certain parts of blocks. So you can think of it like, instead of having every node count from 1 to 100 sequentially, some nodes will count from 70 to 79, and other nodes will count from 80 to 89, so on and so forth. This reduces the load on each individual node, thus increasing throughput significantly. Sharding also allows the network to create multiple blocks at the same time rather than sequentially. This is known as parallel processing. To do this, they will break the data into 64 shards, effectively creating 64 mini blockchains, all connected via a beacon chain. Reducing the load on the individual node will not only speed up the system, but will allow increased participation by the public. The reduced load means lower hardware requirements for validators. Developers envision a scenario in which people run Ethereum clients on their phone or their personal laptop, or maybe even their Tesla when it's parked in the garage at night. This will further decentralize the network and thus make it more secure and reduce points of failure. Furthermore, one of the most anticipated benefits is the absurd increase in transaction speed. Currently, the Ethereum network processes about 30 transactions per second. But with the implementation of sharding, that could propel that number up to 100,000 transactions per second, rivaling major processors like Visa and PayPal. Obviously, this is huge, and we know that Visa and PayPal are global payment processors. So now that we've spoken about the two biggest things, the proof of stake and sharding, let's talk about some smaller but pertinent details. Another change to the Ethereum network comes in the form of Ethereum Webassembly. Currently, the Ethereum network runs on the Ethereum Virtual Machine, or EVM. This acts like a giant virtual desktop computer that's spread out over thousands of individual nodes. Right now, the EVM focuses on being correct rather than being fast. Ethereum Webassembly seeks to change that. Ethereum Webassembly, or EWASM, uses WebAssembly, which is faster as it focuses on translating at a fast pace. It can also be run on any web browser and allows developers to write in almost any coding language. This addition will be important in getting Ethereum 2.0 up to the coveted 100,000 transactions per second. But once that new network is up and running, what happens to the old network? Unfortunately, due to the decentralized nature of the network, developers can't just go and flip the off switch and just turn the thing off. So they have coded in a difficulty bomb, also known as an ice age. This ice age works by exponentially increasing the mining difficulty, freezing up the network, and making it unusable. Right now, the mining difficulty is adjusted so that block times stay at an average of about 10 minutes. Well, once this ice age kicks in, those block times will increase on an exponential scale. So they'll go from 10 minutes to 20 minutes to an hour to 4 hours to 24 hours to a week, 2 weeks, 6 months, a year, 2 years. This renders the network unusable and forces users over to the new one. But what does all this mean for the future of Ethereum though? If everything I just talked about comes to fruition and works as intended, the current scalability issues will be resolved and Ethereum will have the ability to grow into a global currency. This upgrade is another important step in the journey towards getting cryptocurrencies into the everyday lives of consumers. Such a massive increase in use will increase demand for Ether. Although there is no limit to the number of Ether that can be minted, a massive increase in use will certainly drive up the price. Many analysts predict a price move up to $10,000 per coin in the medium term. A quick Google search shows that 10,000 is a popular number for Ethereum fans. I mean, personally, I am totally bullish on the future price growth, and I hold over 17 coins myself. So to recap everything we just talked about, proof of stake will be used rather than proof of work, saving a tremendous amount of energy and speeding up transaction times. Sharding breaks the validation process into 64 pieces, making 64 blockchains, further increasing the speed. The Ethereum virtual machine will be ditched in favor of Ethereum Webassembly, which will trigger another speed upgrade. The ice age will freeze up the old network once the transition is complete, and all of this growth will drive further price discovery, eventually getting us one day to $10,000 per Ethereum. These factors will drive Ethereum and cryptocurrencies into a new era in which consumers will participate on a large scale. From an investing standpoint, right now is a good time to allocate a small portion of your portfolio into Ethereum, depending on your conviction level. As I've said many times before, folks, we're sitting in front of a tidal wave of inflows, and it's a great time to be a cryptocurrency investor. But I'm just some dude on the internet. This is all for entertainment purposes and not investment advice. Now, I hope you all enjoyed this video and got some value from it. If you learned something, please leave a like. If you want to stay up to date on cryptocurrencies, where things are heading, and get more information like this, hit that subscribe button. I hope you all have a great day. This has been Heavy, and I will see you in the next one.